to the entertainer talking sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video, in which will be two of a planned 3 videos today. Who knows, maybe I'll have more. I always put out a lot on Monday, being it's the day after the game. A lot of stories come out. And I thought this was a really interesting story, interesting quotes that I found off of GiantsWire.com from Saquon Barkley. Yesterday was really exciting for me as a Giants fan, and I think it should have been for you guys as well. Now, granted, you have to take the level of opponent into account. They played the Washington Redskins, but this team put up 41 points, and they looked unstoppable doing it. Saquon Barkley, for the first time all year, got to play with Daniel Jones, in my opinion, when he was fully confident and fully healthy, coming back from that ankle injury. I thought that he was fully back the week before when we played the Dolphins with Eli Manning behind center. And another thing that I've not criticized, but said that I thought Daniel Jones needed to work on going into the second year was his ability to read defenses, his ability to change plays at the line of scrimmage. And I thought that had affected Barkley somewhat as a running back. Being that maybe he doesn't audible into the correct plays, doesn't open up the right holes for Barkley. And I thought that had something to do with maybe some of the offensive line struggles. And yesterday, I noticed several times, I remember during the live stream, Daniel Jones was going up to the line of scrimmage. He was changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He was reading defenses better. And that might have been part of the reason why Saquon Barkley had the day that he did. He rushed for 190 yards and had almost 300 yards from scrimmage. The other incredibly encouraging thing was we got to see Saquon Barkley involved in the passing game. He had almost 100 receiving yards. And he caught a long touchdown, I think, for about 35 yards. And it's really encouraging things because we all know the type of player based off of his rookie season that Saquon Barkley can be when he's fully confident and fully healthy. And the dynamic with him and Daniel Jones yesterday was beyond encouraging. The Giants, of course, have spent a 2nd and a 6th overall selection on these two guys. These guys are supposed to be the cornerstones of this team when we get back to the promised land. We hope that we can win a couple of Super Bowls with these guys. And yesterday, they were explosive. They put up over 40 points. It was really encouraging to see that. Of course, we got a lot to work on the defensive end. And we got a lot of draft picks to do it. We got a lot of cap space to do it. So we could have a much better defense next year. And the defense has shown signs throughout the year of improving, individually. Leonard Williams, I think, has added a lot to that. But as far as the offense goes, if you can improve this offensive line even more by bringing in a free agent, by drafting an offensive tackle, whatever they decide to do in the draft, that will help the defense because you'll be able to be more of a ball control offense. I always point at the 2016 Cowboys. Going into 2016, nobody thought that Dallas had a great defense. Nobody. But they put up great defensive numbers because the Cowboys kept them rested by pounding the ball with Zeke. Well, Saquon Barkley is the type of running back that can do that if you provide him with an offensive line. And that dynamic with him and Daniel Jones yesterday really got me amped up for next year. It really did. I think the Giants are going to be able to put up points, and I think they got a bright future on the offensive end. Like I said, we got to work on the defense. But yesterday, really encouraging stuff. And Saquon Barkley was beyond encouraged. He thinks you should be as well. Let's take a look at what he said. After the game, Barkley was quoted as saying, I think that's the kind of thing that they envisioned when they drafted DJ and they drafted me. Barkley said after the Giants defeated the Redskins 41-35. I think we both have the potential and the talent to play well together and open stuff up for each other. And I think we showed that Sunday with the help of everyone else. Of course, Barkley never wants to take full credit. That's the type of guy. He's got to love him. He's always trying to give credit to his teammates. Next quote he said, he's a dog. He's talking about Daniel Jones. He has that mentality, Barkley said to Jones. When they scored, I was like, let's call heads. And we get the rock, and he already said we'd win the game. That's the mindset he has. And that's the approach he has with everything. Barkley then was asked about, essentially tanking for Chase Young. And he said, a lot of people probably wanted us to just lay down and lose for the draft picks. But we had the mindset of a team that we want to finish the season off strong, and we have the opportunity to do that next week, Barkley said. And regardless if you wanted the team to lose or not, you still got to be encouraged that you have players on your team that want to fight all the way down to the stretch. And that is what this team has. They have a lot of young players that are hungry and they want to get better and they want to build. And I do think this team will be good. I don't know if it'll be next year. It could be the year after that. But they are headed in the right direction. Gettleman is drafted incredibly well. They have high character guys. They have guys that build in and that buy in. And Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, for the first time, really showed what this offense could potentially be in the future. And yesterday was really encouraging. I don't care that they were playing the Redskins. Next week, hopefully they build over it and they play well against the Philadelphia Eagles. But Daniel Jones throws 5 touchdowns. He used Barkley in the passing game, opened up big holes in the run. The offensive line looked good, and maybe some of that had to do with Daniel Jones sitting out 2 weeks, getting an opportunity to learn the playbook a little more, getting the opportunity to learn from underneath Eli Manning. Maybe he needed that 2 weeks. Maybe that improved him. Either way, the offense was really fun to watch yesterday. And hopefully, it's really fun to watch in 2020. Cannot wait for next year, after the offseason when we improve the team via the draft and free agency, and we'll see what we got going forward. But I love Saquon, and I love Daniel Jones. As always, if you like what you watch, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.